Okay, question 16 asks you to use the quadratic formula to solve 3x minus 1 all squared equal to x bracket 2x plus 3 bracket plus 7, giving your answers correct at 2 decimal places. The problem with this question is you're not used to seeing it in that form, and you need to put it into this form: ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0 to be able to use the quadratic formula on it. So what you need to do is this 3x to the minus 1 squared, the power tells me that I've got two of these multiplied together, so I could write down 3x minus 1 bracket 3x minus 1, and that's going to be equal to x bracket 2x plus 3 plus 7. Right, so what I need to do next is to expand my brackets. Well, I got two brackets here, so we could use FOIL to expand those. So if you remember, F stands for the first two, so I do 3x times 3x, which is going to give me 9x squared. Then my outside 2 is going to be 3x times minus 1, which gives me minus 3x. My inside 2 is going to be minus 1 times 3x, which gives me minus 3x. And then my last 2 is going to be minus 1 times minus 1. Minus times the minus gives me a plus. 1 times 1 gives me 1. And then if we multiply the single bracket, I've got x times 2x, which is going to give me 2x squared. And then I've got x times plus 3, which is going to be plus 3x. And I've also got the plus 7 on the end. So then I can do a little bit of collecting terms on this side a minute. So I've got 9x squared minus 6x, because minus 3 gives me minus 6, plus 1, and that's equal to 2x squared plus 3x plus 7. What I need to do now is either take this over there or bring this over here to put it equal to 0. Well, as I've got a 2x squared here, it'd be better for me to bring this over here. If I try to do it the other way, I'm going to end up with negative 7 on this side. So if I bring all this over the other side, the plus 2x squared is going to go over, becomes minus 2x squared. I've got minus 6x, and then if I bring the plus 3x over, that's going to become minus 3x. And then I've got a plus 1, and if I bring the plus 7 over, that's going to give me minus 7. And then because I brought all this over to the other side, there's nothing left on the right hand side, so we can put it equal to 0. Again, now we can do a little bit of collecting terms. So 9x squared take away 2x squared is 7x squared. Minus 6x minus 3x gives me minus 9x. And then plus 1 take away 7 gives me minus 6. Okay, normally I would try to look to see if I can factorize this and put it into brackets, but as it said, use the quadratic formula. I'm going to go straight for the quadratic formula. For the quadratic formula, the number before the x squared, the coefficient there, that is our value of a. So a is 7. The number before x including the sign, so be careful to include the sign, is minus 9. And then the number left on its own, again including the sign, would be your c, which is minus 6. Now the quadratic formula is given to you at the front, which is minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So all I need to do now is just substitute those numbers into that formula and work it out. So x is going to be minus b, but because it's minus 9, I'm going to end up there with minus 9, so that with minus 9 turns it into a plus. Two minuses together give me a plus. Then I've got 9 plus or minus the square root of minus 9 all squared minus 4 times a, which is 7, times c, which is minus 6. And then that's all over 2 times a, which is 7. So again, let's work out what's underneath the square root. So we've got minus 9 all squared. So that means minus 9 times minus 9. Minus times the minus gives me a plus. 9 times 9 gives me 81. And then I've got minus 4 times 7, which gives me minus 28. And then I'm times it by another minus, which would turn it back to a plus. 28 times 6 gives me 168. And then that's all over 14. So x is equal to 9 plus or minus the square root of 249 all over 14. Well, at this point I would split it up now because we've got the plus and the minus, so we want one with a plus, one with a minus. So we've got 9 plus the square root of 249 all over 14, or we've got x equals 9 minus the square root of 249 all over 14, and then we can put that into my calculator. So if we're working this out, we would do 9 plus the square root of 249. I would then press equals, and then divide by 14, because your calculator follows the rules of BIDMAS and will give you the wrong answer if you try to do it all in one go. So on my calculator, I've got an answer of 1.76999. So we're giving that the 2 decimal places. So it's going to be 1.77. And in my other answer, I'm going to do 9, take away the square root of 249, press equals, then divide by 14. And that gives me an answer of minus 0.48 to 2 decimal places.